In the kingdom of Eldoria, magic was not merely a craft, it was the breath of the land. The rivers sang with enchantment. The mountains hummed with ancient words. The trees whispered forgotten spells. And in the heart of the capital, Kilwin, there stood the Star Spire, a crystalline tower that contained the last fragment of the shattered star. The shattered star was once the heart of the heavens. It had fallen in a storm of fire centuries ago. Kings, priests, and mages had fought to control its shards. The wars nearly destroyed Eldoria. Finally, one piece remained, sealed in the Star Spire. Our tale begins with a boy named Kalen. Kalen was 17, with hair as dark as raven's wings. His eyes carried the color of stormy seas. He was no prince, no knight, no wizard. He was merely an apprentice blacksmith. His master, Old Borin, often told him, "Your hands are too restless for hammering steel. You dream too much, boy." Kalen did dream. He dreamt of stars that bled silver light. He dreamt of voices calling his name. He dreamt of fire. Across the city lived a girl named Lyra. Lyra was no ordinary girl either. She was a ward of the Sisterhood of the Moonlit Veil. The Sisterhood raised orphans touched by magic. Lyra could hear the thoughts of animals. She often sat by the riverbank, speaking to foxes, birds, and sometimes even snakes. The sisters told her to hide her gift. But Lyra's heart was too wild to be contained. On the eve of the Festival of Falling Stars, Kilwin prepared for celebration. Lanterns of enchanted glass floated in the skies. Musicians played crystal flutes that sang without breath. Merchants sold charms and illusions on every corner. Kalen wandered the streets, carrying errands for Borin. Lyra sneaked away from the Sisterhood, her bare feet quiet as moonlight. Fate, as it often does, brought them together. Kalen bumped into Lyra near the market square. His basket of iron nails spilled. Her stolen apple rolled into the gutter. Their eyes met. For a heartbeat, both felt a strange tug in their souls. Neither spoke. Until Lyra whispered, You dream of fire." Kalen froze. "How could you know that?" he asked. Lyra shook her head, frightened by what she had revealed. Before Kalen could press further, the sky split apart. A scream echoed through the heavens. People stopped. Lanterns flickered out. From the north, a great shadow unfurled, swallowing the stars. A black dragon descended upon Kilwin. Its wings stretched wider than the city walls. Its scales shimmered like molten obsidian. Its eyes glowed with green fire. The crowd scattered in terror. Guards raised shields. Priests chanted words. But nothing stopped the dragon. With a roar, it struck the Star Spire. The tower shattered into 1,000 shards of crystal. The last piece of the shattered star burst free, glowing like a fallen sun. The dragon seized it in its jaws. Lyra cried out. Kalen felt the same burning pain he had known in his dreams. The dragon turned its head toward them. Its gaze pierced through the chaos. "Found you," it whispered, not with its mouth, but with its mind. Kalen fainted. When he awoke, the city smoldered. Fires devoured homes. Smoke painted the sky black. Survivors wept in the ruins. Soldiers carried the wounded. The Star Spire was gone. And so was Lyra. Kalen searched desperately. He called her name among the wreckage. He found only silence. Until a crow landed beside him. Its eyes glowed faintly blue. And in a voice that was not its own, it croaked, "She lives. But she is taken." Kalen gasped. "Where? Tell me." The crow flapped its wings, circling north. Then it vanished into mist. Kalen vowed to follow. He told Boren he must leave. Boren frowned but placed a heavy hammer in Kalen's hands. "If you must go chasing dragons, boy, take something to break their bones." And so, with nothing but a hammer and his restless dreams, Kalen set out. Beyond the city walls, the world grew stranger. The forests whispered louder. The rivers sang darker. Kalen felt watched at every step. One night, as he camped near a ruined shrine, shadows moved on their own. Out stepped a figure cloaked in silver. A woman with hair of white fire. Her eyes were blind, yet they seemed to see everything. "You are marked," she said to Kalen. "Marked by the star. Marked by destiny. The dragon hunts you, not the shard alone." Kalen clenched his hammer. "Then tell me how to fight it." The woman smiled sadly. "To fight a dragon of shadow, you must gather more than steel. You must gather souls." She vanished into mist before he could ask more. But her words lingered. Souls. Companions. Allies. He would not face this journey alone. The first soul he met was a thief. His name was Dorian, sly and lean. He tried to rob Kalen as he slept. Kalen nearly broke his skull with the hammer. But Dorian begged for mercy. "The dragon burns villages. I steal to survive. Let me come with you, and I'll steal from your enemies instead." Reluctantly, Kalen agreed. The second soul was a knight. Lady Seraphine of House Arden. Her armor was battered, her sword dulled. She had lost her company fighting the dragon. But her spirit remained unbroken. "If you march to face the beast, then I march with you," she declared. Kalen welcomed her strength. The third soul was no human. It was a wolf with silver fur. It approached them in the moonlight, unafraid. Lyra's voice echoed in Kalen's mind, "Trust him." The wolf bowed its head. And from then on, it followed. Together, they journeyed north. Through forests of eternal twilight. Across deserts of shifting glass. Over mountains where the air itself whispered madness. With each trial, Kalen's dreams grew stronger. He saw Lyra chained in darkness. He saw the dragon circling her like a serpent. And always, he heard the words, "Found you." One night, Kalen awoke to find Lyra before him. She was pale, her eyes glowing faintly. "Kalen, you must not follow. The dragon binds me to the star. If you come, you will be bound too." Kalen reached for her. She dissolved into mist. The wolf growled at the shadows. Dorian muttered, "Dreams are never just dreams anymore." At last, they reached the Vale of Ash. Here, the dragon had made its lair. The land was burned black. Rivers boiled. Trees stood as charred skeletons. And in the center, a ruined temple pulsed with green fire. Lyra was chained there, her eyes closed, the shard hovering above her chest. The dragon descended from the storm above. Its wings darkened the sun. Its roar shook the bones of the earth. Dorian trembled. Seraphine raised her sword. The wolf bared its fangs. Kalen gripped his hammer. The battle began. Seraphine struck first, her blade sparking against black scales. The dragon's tail hurled her aside. Dorian loosed arrows tipped with stolen poison. They barely pierced the hide. The wolf leapt at its throat, only to be flung into the ruins. Kalen charged. His hammer struck the beast's leg. A crack rang out, not of bone, but of magic. The dragon hissed. The star answers you, but you are not ready. Kalen fell back, breathless. Lyra's voice called from her chains. Break the shard, Kalen. It binds us both. Kalen looked at her, torn. To break the shard meant destroying the last piece of the star. To keep it meant keeping her imprisoned. The dragon roared, charging flame into its maw. Kalen lifted his hammer. He struck the shard. Light exploded across the veil. The dragon screamed, writhing as cracks split its scales. Lyra's chains shattered. The wolf howled with silver fire. Seraphine rose again, her sword blazing with light. Dorian laughed wildly, firing arrows that now burned with starfire. Together, they pressed the attack. Kalen leapt, hammer blazing, and struck the dragon's skull. The beast crashed into the ruins, its body collapsing in on itself. Its shadow bled into the earth. And then, silence. Lyra collapsed into Kalen's arms. She opened her eyes, soft and weary. You chose me over the star, she whispered. Kalen smiled faintly. You are my star. But the battle was not without cost. The shard was gone. The last piece of celestial power extinguished. Eldoria would never know the light of the star again. Yet, perhaps, it no longer needed it. The companions lingered in the veil, their bond forged in fire. Dorian swore loyalty to Kalen, though he still stole from him when bought. Seraphine pledged to rebuild her order, with Kalen as her ally. The wolf remained by Lyra's side, its silver eyes ever watchful. And Lyra herself, free of the dragon's curse, grew stronger in her gift. As for Kalen, he no longer dreamt of fire. He dreamt of hope. Of journeys yet to come. Of stars yet to be born. But in the deepest shadows of the veil of ash, the ground still trembled. A whisper lingered. Found you. Kalen awoke with a start. Lyra held his hand. The wolf growled. Dorian cursed under his breath. Seraphine tightened her grip on her sword. The war was not over. The dragon was not truly dead. And the shattered star was not truly gone. For shards never vanish. They only scatter. And the world is vast. Kalen stood, his hammer glowing faintly with the memory of the star. Lyra whispered, where one journey ends, another begins. The companions looked at each other, weary but unbroken. They had become more than wanderers. More than survivors. They had become a family. And so they marched forward. Into the unknown. Into the endless story of stars and souls. Into the fire of destiny. For every shard scattered in the dark was waiting. And every shard called their names. The tale of Kalen, Lyra, Dorian, Seraphine, and the Silver Wolf was only just beginning.